All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen, and then we can start. I'll first do an intro, Masek, for those of you that have not engaged with us. I think most of you have, but I just want to spend a moment or two to say that who we are and the progress. I still keep getting asked. I came on board about 5.5 years ago, and I started with a company called Evasys. And then that was acquired by Mastech about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago. And that's where Herschel and I come from the Oracle side of the business. And I've got about 25 years implementing Oracle applications globally. Spent a good amount of time in Europe implementing, and then moved over here about, again, 5.5 years ago. And I mentioned that because people say they haven't heard necessarily of Mastech, but they know Evasys. And that name branding and recognition is still getting out there. So I'll just talk a little bit about who we are for a moment. So we've got well over almost 1,400 Oracle Cloud customers. That number of 1,360 is actually outdated now. We're closer to about 1,390 or so. Expect before the end of the year for it to surpass that. And we're a company that has about 5,800 employees, 6,000 employees globally. More than half are dedicated to Oracle. And you see there where our experience lies within each of the pillars. So ERP, 351, HCM is 985. That looks a little skewed, but that has to do with a lot of the other various products that we have, including Taleo, EPM and supply chain and such. And then also where we rank within within some of the advisory firms. So Everest Group has us top 5, and the Gartner slide, which everybody else always loves to show their customers, we're ranked the top 19 partners globally. They've ranked us in the top area for niche. And the reason we were qualified as niche is because we're Oracle only on the back end. Okay. And we recently just won another Everest Advisory Award for support for Oracle applications as well. So why don't we jump into the meat of it? We're leading into the Oracle 4th, and an important part of Oracle 4th is that Oracle does a good portion of its business in the last quarter. And we did this last year, and we had a lot of success with the 2x ARR campaign. And in this year, we're going to let's see. I'm just trying to get the slide to change. There it is. Okay. So we're going to also add Adopt.AI to it, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But basically it's going to streamline a lot of the implementation cycle. So I'm going to let Herschel talk about the Mastech offering for 2x ARR. But
Yep.
It's now even energized even more so before. So Herschel, if you want to just walk us through 2x ARR.
Absolutely. So on the see what we did, right, and we are running this program for last at least couple of years, specifically around Q3 and Q4 of Oracle, right, and making sure that Oracle doesn't lose on the price, right? So what we have created is more of a best practices driven approach, right? Now let's not confuse this with the fixed scope offering, right? We are not talking about FSO. We are not talking about let's say out of the box and all. What we are talking about, the best practices driven best practices approach, and implemented using some AI technology, right? So we are going to deliver as many deliverables as is required in the project, right? We are not going to take away the documentation to meet this timeline or the price point, right? So the way we have structured this is we have expertise across different industries, and we have put together a kind of a templated approach, right? Where we have a solution for healthcare, we have a solution for construction engineering, we have a solution for manufacturing, so on and so forth. And then what we have added to this is our AI-driven implementation approach, which I'm going to talk in the next slide. Uh, uh, so and this is going to apply for all the growth and hyper growth account where they have, let's say, a standard where they want to kind of follow the standardized enterprise structure, standardized processes. What we are adding into this offer, and this is interesting, is we are going to drive this through AI approach. At the same time, we are also going to encourage customers to start using the embedded AI that Oracle is offering, as well as we are going to give them one custom use case, right, which we will build on top of what Oracle provides, right? So we have library of different use cases that we have built as Mastech. So again, the customer would not see that they are just getting a back office solution or a HCM solution. The customer would see a solution which they are getting is kind of a next generation. They are going to leverage the AI in real time, and then they are also going to see the powerful capability of that additional custom use case, which can be tweaked as per their specific requirement. Then there is some specific scope around data migration, that we will migrate all their open transaction and master data. From the history standpoint, we are going to migrate that 3 to 5 years of journal histories as well, right? Because that's also an important conversation we get from every customer. And then from the training standpoint, again, we are going to train them on the all the key users will be trained, and we are also going to train them on the system maintenance side. Now, as you see, right, these are like 5 core bullet points, and what you don't see here is the restriction, right? So which we used to have in the fixed scope offering, like we will create 5 custom report, we will create this, we will create only this, or one enterprise structure, or one calendar, right? We are not talking about this, because what we have realized, the fixed scope offering doesn't work, right? So we want this to be kind of resonate really well with the customer, so that there is no scope creep and we have successful implementation rather than struggling into the implementation. One change that we also did, since we have embedded AI in our methodology, until last year we had offered this only for a single pillar customers, right? So let's say if someone wants to implement just HCM, or someone wants to implement just ERP and procurement, we kind of restricted our offering just to those set of customer. But now we have basically opened it up for the multi-pillar deals as well, right? So that way it's really kind of beneficial to you in terms of closing the larger deals, and making sure that we kind of come at the customer's price point. Again, depending upon the scope of the work, the implementation timeline is going to range from 16 weeks, and again it will increase based on the number of modules we have in the scope. For each of and again, a hypercar is also included as part of this particular offering. So any question on this? But this is what our overall offering is, right? So we are going to make sure that we price within your range, making sure that it's not more than 2x of your ARR.
Yeah, and I just want to say on this, we presented, we actually came back and we're talking to Dan Heller, I think it was last week and the week before, to Andrew Bauer, and they, as you know, are on the alliance and the marketing side, and they were really excited about getting this out, because it's one, it's timely, and two, they're just finding more and more in the marketplace that they're getting beat up on implementation price. But allowing us to add AI to it to help streamline it is, they saw is really valuable. And he was honest with us, Andrew was. He says, there's other partners that are doing this, but they're either 100% offshore or they're buying the business because they're just starting out in the space. And he says, you're not. You bring value. You help us close business because you got great solution architects, and you bring a lot of value other than just being a low price. You bring references. A lot of these people trying to break into it, they don't have references, so they go at a low price. Is a bit of a risk. We've got references. I've got references all in North America, so that your customers are able to talk to them and making sure that we'll have a successful implementation. But we have other value adds that we bring to it to help you close. So it's just not inexpensive. We bring the industry experience, we bring the value, we bring the AI innovation, so that the customer really feels a lot more comfort in going the Oracle route in competitive bids. So, I think that really plays a difference, and I think we should continue to promote that as well to the customers.
So, so Wendy has posted a question, right? Prior to adding AI as a tool, what was the typical implementation range to the list price? So again, if you see, right, what we are implementing is Oracle embedded AI, right? So again, earlier also the price was around 2x ARR, right? Sometime it would come as 1.5x, sometime it would come as 1.75x, or sometime it might have 2.1 or 2.2x, depending upon the complexity. So AI is not adding to the price because it is now embedded as part of the methodology, and it is part of the Oracle solution. So it is not impacting the price anymore. Yes, there is additional cost that we will incur for additional custom AI use case that we are kind of giving to the customer, but we are not charging it because that's more of our investment. And for Mastech's own purpose, we want to get into that AI transformation journey along with their ERP journey, right? So basically, we are showing them, what art of possibility by giving them one custom AI use case, and it could be for Oracle or outside Oracle back office or front office solution, right? So it could be, let's say, on their POS, it could be on their manufacturing, MES, it could be on anything.
And I think Wendy was asking more so, how did using Adopt.AI, how did that streamline it from a baseline where it was before we had it and now where we're now adding it? So to that point, we can go to the next slide and you can see the area of improvement. But I think as the next phase and as the next iterations of Adopt.AI come out, you're going to see a lot more improvements in it. So to answer your point, Wendy, I think that you're asking is, I think it streamlined it between 10 to 15%, but we're going to try and get it up to about 25% in future releases. So Herschel, if you want to just walk us through how Adopt.AI streamline that process.
Absolutely. And thanks, Rick, for clarifying that. Now, so what we have done, right, with Adopt.AI. So Adopt is our implementation methodology where we focus on making sure that customer adopts to the best practices. Now, in this entire implementation process, what we have done is we have basically automated a lot of stuff, right? So the ones which you already see in the blue are already automated, and the ones which you are seeing in light orange is something is going to come in the future releases, right? And these are nothing but the different deliverables, the way we approach the implementation, right? So and let's say if I take you through the entire implementation methodology, there are a lot of deliverables that we deliver, right? So we start with, let's say, the kind of questionnaire that we will be asking to the customer, right? Now, earlier, the process was, right, the solution architects, different team members kind of get on a call, they discuss and basically create the list of questions and get into the meetings. And then also, what used to happen is there were chances that certain questions are missed out, which comes probably in the CRP1. Now with HLA questionnaire and with Adopt.AI, what team has to do is team just has to put the industry, team just has to put, the kind of modules they for which they need the question in, and that's it. The 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 uh, the methodology or the tool that we have internally will spit out all the required questions that you should be asking in the requirement discussion or HLA sessions, right? So what it does, right, it improves the quality of the implementation. It also improves or eliminates the need of kind of relooking at the solutions probably coming at the CRP1 or CRP2 stage, right? And again, it saves a lot of time, right? So earlier, whatever implementation I was doing in like let's say 9 months or 12 months, because I'm able to automate a lot of documentation, I'm able to reuse a lot of codes of reports, a lot of codes of integration, automate the testing processes. That implementation timeline, as Rick said, we were able to kind of reduce from 9 months already to probably by 15 to 20% to somewhere around 7 months, and the target is to kind of bring it down to 5 to 6 months, right, by automating a lot of other stuff as well, right? So we are working on creating a config assurance where you basically when you migrate the setup from one environment to another, currently there is no process or there is no tool which basically makes sure that the migration has happened properly. With config assure, you will be able to kind of exactly identify what is the difference between these two environments and whether your actual setup has been migrated or not, right? So these are the different tools we are placing. Some of those are AI driven, some of those are more to do with automation, but again, the combination of this is going to help us make our implementation process efficient and basically pass on the cost and time benefit that comes along with it to the customer, right? And that's where we will be able to kind of give you the price which is a winning price for you guys.
Yeah. So, when customers look at value realization and, speed to realizing that it is, it's oftentimes harder to figure that out, but with our new approach here, it's going to level the playing field too. You're going to give them that, value realization faster, but it's going to level the playing field because, I think everybody's sat on calls with customers and steercos where in one particular pillar of technology, they had a good SA, solution architect for the implementation, in the other, maybe not so good. Well, because of this levels out that playing fields and makes the people more evenly distributed as far as knowledge base. So we're asking a lot of those questions that expert SA would ask in other areas. So we're getting the right questions and making it a much more streamlined process, but actually more effective and efficient. So we're gathering the right information. So when you're looking at a sales cycle, so the whole so what to this, when your customer sees this, we're going to explain it in that manner so they understand that, this is how it's going to provide that value in this whole process. So it's going to work towards helping you to close the deal as well. So, if you've got some of these engagements where even if it's not going to be, a competitive bid, or it may not even be an issue with commercials. They may have a budget for it that seems reasonable. Having this Adopt.AI is going to help to sell the product because it's going to allow us to streamline and make things much more efficient and consistent through the implementation. Herschel, is there anything else that we want to talk about? Again, we wanted just to make this short so you understood what 2x ARR was, but also more importantly, how Adopt.AI is going to help streamline that process, but also help the customer. And again, with this, we're giving one free use case that's not already embedded by Oracle. We're giving them one AI use case that they'll be able to implement as part of our offering. Okay, guys. So, is there anything else we want to cover, Herschel? I think we've covered the basics of what we wanted to. We've got tons of slides behind this about the AI that we've developed. Not for this call, but happy to go over with you guys if you want to see what we've done. What I'd like to do is I'll have some of my team reach out to you specifically, or you want to reach out to me. That's perfectly good as well. I'll channel you to the right salespeople on my team to help you with the engagement, but also so that we can talk more about how 2x ARR and Adopt.AI can help your customers. Have any questions in the chat?
I don't see any additional questions, Rick, but I encourage everybody on the call, if they do have it, they can unmute at this point and then ask the question.
Do that too. So I know, yeah, I was on a call previously, and I know for a number of people, when discussing 2x ARR, I know you're gonna offer discounts. And, we're gonna try and do our very best based on that discounting to get to 2x ARR. But, if we're down to, 85% discount, I think you probably realize it's gonna be real difficult for us to stay in that 2x ARR, but we may be in 2.5 or maybe possibly 3, depending what your discount is like. Okay. All right, so I'll send out this small presentation to all the attendees here, and we'll have another session like this same time next week, and we can go over some of that as well. So I think we got a couple here.
Yeah, a couple of questions. So there's a question from Tony saying, can you share more examples of AI use cases that you can deliver that aren't already included in the Fusion apps?
Well,
So
as a matter of fact,
yeah,
I can.
yeah, just share. So Tony, we'll send out the entire list of so we have a kind of repository of what are embedded AI within Oracle, and then what are the additional use cases that we have deployed or developed. I think this presentation probably have one or two, but we can absolutely send out that list to you.
Yeah, so if I were to, here's one for finance, for intelligent finance, for transforming financial data. And then we also have one, FinMate.
Yeah, so this is on the FinMed, right? It is more of giving you the insights on your financial data, Tony, right? So rather than keep looking at the multiple reports, this solution basically summarizes the data for the CFO organization and provides you the valuable insights along with, let's say, if there is a data anomaly because of certain reason. So it does that, right? So again, the solution is developed using OCI platform, and basically, the LLM which is used is, I mean, we have used Llama, but you can also use Cohere or other LLMs in the backend. So again, there is one for finance. This is more for HR, where we have basically created a talent genius which does initial screening for you, right? So let's say if you have hundreds and thousands of applications coming up, this basically is a virtual recruiter. This particular solution acts as a virtual recruiter for you, who does the initial level of questioning, right? And basically scans the different profiles for you, and that saves a lot of time of recruiter, right? Making sure that they have the right profiles to pass on to the next level. So I'll share this with all of you, right? With some brief description, and if you are interested in looking at the demo, we can also. So we are actually, Rick, running a webinar in April, I believe.
Yes.
So I think we are going to do 3 or 4 use case or live use case in that webinar. So yeah, that would be helpful for you guys to attend as well.
Yeah. And so, yeah, absolutely. So we're going to take a deeper dive into that next webinar, where we'll talk about these other use cases that we have, but also present more on how we can actually help to close more business. And I think more than anything on when it comes to Adopt.AI and how we're looking at the implementation is, I'm seeing more and more for on-premise customers like eBusiness and JD Edwards customers that are looking at taking a look at Fusion because of the AI capabilities that Fusion has. So, and this plays along with it, and we offer our own solutions as well. All right. Thank you all very much for today. As I promised, it was going to be a short meeting. Want to give you some visibility and expect to hear from our team, and you can discuss more as far as if there's any specific customers that you'd like us to talk to or engagements. Okay. Thank you all for your time. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.